Hello subscribers, welcome to episode 3 out of 15, where I'm reviewing In the Beginning, The Bible Stories, a Japanese anime about Bible stories. In the last episode, we left off with Cain becoming a Sailor Scout, and now, in episode 3, we skip straight to Noah. And first, the very first scene contains a small bit of nudity, I guess, technically. I think they might actually technically have pasties on, but the scene moves pretty quick, so it's hard to tell. It basically just looks like nudity. But like I said, it goes by very fast. It's just there to set up how wicked everybody is. But then right after that, we move into the first bit of trouble with paraphrasing.
You will build an ark from the wood of cypress trees and seal it with tar.
So first it's actually pitch, not tar, but that's fine, whatever. But the cypress tree? It's an ark made of gopher wood. It doesn't really say anything about it being from the cypress tree. And I'm pretty sure gopher wood does not refer to the cypress tree, but whatever. Not too big of a deal. What comes next is a little weird.
Noah, I have seen that only you have lived correctly and without sin. In 7 days, I shall bring a great rain upon the earth that will last for 40 days and destroy all the living creatures I created.
So, 3 things. First, Noah was not without sin. He was righteous in his day, but that doesn't mean he was without sin. He was just better than everybody else. That's a minor point. The real issue is 7 days to build the ark. Noah had a lot more than 7 days. He had about 100 years. And then there's this gem that apparently God put on Noah's staff. That is not in the Bible at all. Noah did not need a sign to show people. The only people, even in the anime, the only people he showed was his family. And this is the age of patriarchs. He didn't need their acceptance of the matter. He was in charge. He was the patriarch. He didn't need to convince them. But that's not the only thing this anime adds to the text.
Together we can do it.
This is the sign of my covenant with God.
I agree with Yapa. Let's build the ark.
Who is Yatha? Noah does not have a son named Yatha. None of his sons or even grandchildren even sound close to that. I have no idea why they felt the need to add in this 4th son. Any purpose he had to the story could have been fulfilled by any of the other 3 sons. And next, we find out that that fox that looks like he's going to be around for every episode. My prediction was right from the first episode. He can indeed talk.
You again, huh? You troublemaker!
You're old man, silly, and you're his silly son!
I can't stand it any longer.
Ironic that the fox is calling Noah silly. That scene itself was silly. Speaking of silly, but not in the same way, this anime implies that Noah had daughters. I didn't take a clip of this one, but after a montage of them working on the ark for 7 days, remember, Noah's wife comes up to him and says, "We don't have enough money. We've spent everything on this ark. We've even sold our daughters' clothes." First of all, what daughters? Noah doesn't have any daughters. At least none that are recorded. Certainly none that went on the ark, unless you count daughter-in-laws, which doesn't quite make sense. Secondly, why are you selling your daughter's clothes? What is wrong with you? That just isn't right. This anime, although it doesn't show Noah's daughters, it really makes it seem like he just left his daughters outside of the ark naked while the rest of them floated off to safety. But anyway, next comes the animals.
I can't believe it myself. That's an animal a traveler once told me about. It lives far away in a southern country. He said it's the largest animal in the world.
Look, there are two of them.
It's not a brontosaurus. The largest animal in the world at the time was a brontosaurus, or some sort of sauropod. So, of course, this anime makes the classic mistake of not putting dinosaurs on the Ark. Dinosaurs were most definitely on the Ark. Now, whether or not they would have been bigger than elephants at the time, because of their age, you would not have brought old dinosaurs on the Ark, then perhaps they would have been smaller than elephants. That's certainly possible, but don't forget the dinosaurs. Now, let's take a look at the marching of the 2x2s onto the Ark, as any story about Noah's Ark has to have. And let's see if you can spot something off with this scene. So, besides the fox at the end there, can you figure out what was wrong with that picture? Maybe you're thinking of the sheer number of penguins that apparently they needed. But no, I'm not referring to the penguins. Those bears are walking upright. Bears wouldn't walk upright. Obviously, I'm kidding. It's the octopus. Why are there octopus going onto the Ark? There were no invertebrates on the Ark. Octopus have no reason to be on the Ark. It's nice that they got some variety, but they still had plenty of other animals they could have put on there without going to see animals that didn't need to be there. Now, the fox we met earlier ended up becoming a stowaway, and his character is a bit much.
Don't you know it's unsafe to walk alone? Because you never know what you'll run into, right? But you know all that, right? Okay, Shorty. I haven't had any nice fresh meat in a long time. But the waiting's over. Help! Oh! Help me! Please! Oh, please! Please help me! I don't want to die!
I really don't know why he's even in the show, but they really give him more character development than he really needs. I really hope they cut back on him in future episodes. Next, we get to where Noah releases the dove. And it's a lady dove. How do I know? Because it's got dove boobies and eyelashes. And for some reason, a goose beak. Whoops, I skipped ahead in my notes. Before the dove, he sent out the raven.
If you find anything, remember to come back.
And that's how the ravens went extinct. Yeah, this is another issue where paraphrasing goes wrong. It makes it look like the raven is just too dumb to come back and just flies off to its death. But we know it didn't die because we still have ravens. I suppose somebody could argue that the raven had eggs before he left, but the anime doesn't make that argument. Next, we have another instance. Well, this isn't necessarily adding to the Bible, but it is reshuffling some stuff. Here, let me show you.
Never again shall I destroy all my creatures as I have just done. As long as the world exists, there will always be a time for planting and a time for reaping. There shall be cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night. Reproduce and multiply. Cover the earth with your progeny. I give this all to you. Let this rainbow be a symbol of my promise.
The whole time for planting and time for reaping bit is not from Noah's story. That comes from somewhere else. Proverbs or Ecclesiastes or something. The promise symbolized by the rainbow is only that God will not destroy the world with a flood. All that other stuff comes from somewhere else. And the anime, well, the episode ends by giving the fox a mate who somehow survived an entire year floating on debris. Of course, the anime does not indicate that an entire year went by on the ark, even though they showed them running out of food. Either way, that female fox should not have survived. If they were on the ark long enough to run out of food, the female fox was on the ocean long enough to die. But no, for some reason they want to keep this fox around and decided to make him a stowaway instead of him having a partner, which makes you wonder who were the actual foxes that were supposed to be there if he was a stowaway. The anime's not going to answer this. And that is the end of the third episode. I don't know what the fourth episode has yet. I have not watched it yet. I look forward to finding out. See you then.